And podcasters Deval and Kadeen Ellis are actually going viral right now all over social media based off of a conversation that they had on their podcast in regards to marriage. Now, there was a lot of the things that they were saying, they were kind of like going back and forth and debating, and a lot of people on the internet are very split on their feelings or opinions about this conversation, specifically women being very upset about how this conversation happened. I'm gonna go ahead and dive into the conversation, press play, pause, plays, and give you guys my thoughts, my feelings, and my opinion on this entire situation.
So there was one point in the marriage, year 2, I said, you know what, I think I need a side chick because you're not giving me what I need sexually, and it's making me feel bad, and da da da. And Kadeen said, you know, Deval, whatever, do it.
Because at that point, I was just tired of arguing. I was like, that's going to make you feel better in this moment.
And I
Go
said,
ahead, my guy.
Immediately, I think we know why most of the women are mad in the comments. Immediately, I think we can all fathom why these women were going off in the comment section based off of this small snippet of the conversation, but there's more.
Yeah, and I said, and I said, yo, I'm not saying this as a threat. I'm telling you what I'm about to do. She said, about that, do what you got to do. Like,
did you really not care at that moment?
I didn't think you were going to do nothing.
Right.
To be quite honest, I was like, oh, this is like a
test.
That's what she thought.
A lot of times women be having conversations. You have to be very intentional on saying what you mean and meaning what you say. Don't be playing bold. Don't be acting tough. Don't be agreeing to stuff that you really don't want to agree to, because once you open that door, it's going to be very hard to close it.
That's kind of was a test. What I wanted her to say was like, you're not going to go get a side chick. I'm going to step up to the plate. I got you. The things that you need because I'm your wife. And when she said, go ahead and do it, I felt like, dang, she really don't care that much about me. That she going to let me go do it. So now I got to go do it.
One thing that women have to understand as well is that, you know, whenever a man says he's going to do something, or a man propositions you with any kind of situation, you have to know that men are very logical thinkers, and so there's a lot that they have gone through before it has come out of their mouth. And so when something is presented to you, regardless of what it is, if a man says, you know, don't disrespect me like that again, or I'm gonna leave, or anything like that, whenever a man gives you any of those tidbits of information, you have to take it seriously, because I can guarantee they are being extremely serious. They're not like women who run and just say anything and throw it out there and don't mean it. Men are very intentional when they speak.
So I ended up meeting a girl. We started talking and we became friends. And I said to her, I said, you know what? We can't have sex because we're friends. Like I wanted something transactional so I could do it and throw it away.
Yeah.
So we became friends.
Now, to summarize the rest of that podcast conversation for you guys, it ended up obviously not happening. He had the conversation with her. She was shocked because she didn't know that he was really serious. But the root of that issue and the root of that problem was that they had two very different ideas of what it was that they signed up for when it came to marriage. And, you know, they ended up talking about it again on their own personal podcast and got a little bit deeper to the root of that conversation.
I don't want to say it's a man versus woman thing, but a lot of women do complain, oh, my husband's always on me. Why is he always on me? If sex is going to be a chore for you that you don't really want to do, why do women constantly push monogamy on men? If you know that you don't want to have to deal with him all the time just wanting you, why do you push monogamy?
A lot of women don't like these parts of the conversation, hence why, like I said, they're getting a lot of backlash and flack in the comment sections. And it's mainly because whenever a truth is exposed about women who are, you know, pursuing or wanting marriage, but them not being well equipped with being able to maintain all of the things that a marriage entails, women get quiet, right? Because, you know, the focal point always lands on a man not being prepared, or he wasn't this, or he's not man enough for me. You know, it's always that kind of conversation. And when that conversation is now flipped and a man can say, oh, are you woman enough? Are you ready? Are you prepared? Women get their feelings hurt.
If sex is going to be a chore for you that you don't really want to do, why do women constantly push monogamy on men?
Everything he's saying so far in this conversation makes a lot of logical and intentional sense, right? Women are the ones who say, oh, you know, I'm not gonna be no long-time girlfriend. I'm not gonna sit here and you know, just play the game with you. You're gonna have to marry me. And then when the duties come up that you know, require you to present your best self in the thick of it in marriage, you're not wanting to hold your end of the bargain, but you're wanting them to hold their end of the bargain.
Well, who's to say I pushed anything on anybody? Like,
well, we know that you pushed monogamy on me.
I pushed monogamy. I forced you to get married to me?
Time out. I didn't say you forced me to get married, but did you not say to me that you wanted to be engaged and you wanted to be married before you lived with me?
This is a very, very authentic conversation that is happening on a platform that people need to see, because it's the truth being revealed, right? And it's something that a lot of women can relate to. A lot of women put certain parameters on what they want and time frames and stuff like that because of societal standards of what they think they're supposed to do, or whatever it is that they want for their life. You know, and so when the conversation then comes forth, they don't like to hear the truth of what actually happened, right? It doesn't feel good to say, hey, yeah, you pushed me into a corner and forced me to do this.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you left the screw tray.
Oh, I'm turning around. Getting old, man.
Okay. Okay.
Here I come.
All right.
You get it? I can want something, but not.
You right now, you're dodging the question.
Nobody pressed you to do it. Yes, is that something I wanted? Yes, it was. But
you didn't impress me. Are you gonna lie now
so
to the people? Because we talking about sex. You're gonna lie now to the people?
Knowing
you didn't want monogamy?
Of course I did.
So then why are you avoiding the question?
When the mirror is turned, it is not always nice, but it brings forth some of the most fruitful conversations you could ever have in a relationship.
It's not avoiding the question. I'm saying, does that mean because I wanted and I requested that you were going to deliver it? Like, nobody pressed you for that.
Come on, you just said you wanted it and requested it. Do you not hear yourself?
I can make a request. Is the request going to be granted?
Am I
That's
not?
up to you, bro.
Am I not?
As a woman, when you're in a relationship and you are providing an ultimatum to your man, it is because you want him to provide those things that you are asking or requiring of him, right? You're not wanting him to turn to you and say, I don't want to do any of those things, and then you have to then go outside and start over and figure things out from the scratch. You know, you're doing it because you're wanting him to step up to the plate. Now that puts a man who is in love with you in a certain kind of box, right? Because now it's like, okay, even though I might not be ready for this step, I love her enough and I want to be with her and I want her to be happy. I don't want this decision to end our relationship, even if I'm not necessarily ready for that next step. So now I have to juggle on, am I going to, you know, compromise with her and give her what it is that she's looking for? Or am I going to, you know, step away from this very comfortable relationship that I'm in and end up being single?
It's not avoiding the question. I'm saying, does that mean because I wanted and I requested that you were going to deliver it? Like, nobody pressed you for that.
So no, you just said you wanted it and requested it. Do you not hear yourself?
So that is definitely putting a man in a corner to get something out of it. You know, a lot of women talk about it all the time of, you know, giving the ultimatum and pressuring a man, you know, in all the ways that you can to get what you're wanting out of the situation. So it's a truth, right? It's a truth. And again, it's not something that only she is, you know, responsible for doing. A lot of women can relate to doing this.
If you wanted monogamy,
okay,
why would you want monogamy if sex is a chore for you? That's the question.
As mad as women are, this is a very valid question, right? Because a lot of men know, you know, and it's a talked about thing from women and from men, right? Women will, you know, especially when they doing the girlfriend and they're, you know, showing the representative and they're wanting to get the ring and they're wanting to be chose, they jumping from the ceiling fan, black flip, this, that, like doing it, you know, whatever the case. And then after a certain time, after they, you know, kind of like lock the man down or they get him locked down, you know, that becomes a thing of the past.
If you wanted monogamy,
okay,
why would you want monogamy if sex is a chore for you? That's the question.
And a lot of times, a lot of these women are requiring monogamy. You can't step out. I don't want you to do with nobody else. I don't want you to be with nobody else. But at the same time, if he comes to you and he's requesting it from you, you don't want to, you feel annoyed, you got an attitude, you got a headache, you got all these things. And so this is a valid question from a man's perspective. It's no different than a woman getting into a marriage and he is a provider. You know, he's providing all this provision for you. He's, you know, doing all the stuff for you, taking care of your nails, your hair, all the things, right? And then once you guys get into a relationship, he stops doing that. Now you questioning, hold on a second, did I get hit with the switcheroo? Because I signed up for this and now I'm not getting that. Very, very valid question.
I don't feel like I was adequately prepared for marriage. And I've said that before, because if I knew that marriage and monogamy was going to involve me trying to meet you where you were at sexually for years to come, then I probably would have reevaluated if I wanted to be monogamous anyway.
I love what she said here. I love this answer. I really love this answer. And you know why? Because it leads me down a whole different path. Women don't have the proper conversations about what it means to be married, right? They might tell you about like, oh, you have to clean, you have to cook for him, you have to, make sure that you wash his clothes, or, they might tell you the things of how to cater to him functionally in a household way, right? But a lot of women don't have the insight on these deeper conversations that sometimes it is better to let the laundry go. It is better to order something from out to eat. It is better to do a quick pickup than deep clean on a Saturday, just so you can fulfill the actual roles of your relationship in a positive way. I.e., sometimes just getting into bed. 100%. Because as we know, a lot of problems are solved if y'all just get into bed.
If I knew that marriage and monogamy was going to involve me trying to meet you where you were at sexually for years to come, then I probably would have reevaluated if I wanted to be monogamous anyway.
There are a lot of women who are outside who are, prioritizing a lot of these other things in marriage. And, on paper, it's like, yeah, you have a really good wife. She's, taking care of the home. She's doing all these things. But his needs are not met.
With you, you know what I'm saying?
How do you feel after
Keep
that?
it moving. Man, listen, the first 1 or 2 scenes that I saw with Val and in these moments, I was just like, oh, so that's how you doing it on TV.
She go. That was a lot.
That was a lot.
That was a lot.
That was a lot.
And I showed her on
And
my
then I
phone.
was kinda like-
I was like, here, I just want you to see what's going on.
He showed it to me beforehand because he was like, I just don't
It's
know.
about to come out. Just watch this real quick.
And I was like,
I'm
this-
watching
You
her.
were nervous? You were nervous? DeVal, you nervous? DeVal, you nervous?
But boy, I was like, you see that?
like,
You want me to pull that back? That's the move I be doing on
This
you.
getting realer and realer.
And
I
I was
was
like,
like, I
that
remember
move, that's our move.
that
right
was
there.
given Tuesday night.
Yes. I was inspired by what we
You were
did.
inspired. So he's
Yeah.
pulling from real life experience, I see here.
I never imagined my public healing would inspire others to heal across the world.
I thank you for using him to reach the world with a message of hope in relationships.
But your life does not.
God, you are my publicist. We laugh.
There's not, these deeper conversations. You might sit down or you might observe people's marriages and they are, sharing out his dinner and giving him his plate first and making sure this and making sure that. But when it comes to those intricate, intimate things, a lot of women are very mute on that part of the conversation. Sometimes because they're also not performing in that aspect. So they can't give you no advice because they're not doing it either.
Two people are dating. Typically in society, who asks for exclusivity first, a woman or a man?
I would say a woman.
Why are we asking men for exclusivity if we do not want to participate in sex at the same level as men? We have to think about what that does to a man.
Now, I have to say this. I think that there's some nuance to this conversation, right? I think there's a couple of truths that we're going to talk about. One of those truths is the load of, the household load, right? If the household load is primarily on one person and it's not balanced to a certain extent, one person is going to be more tired than the other person. And so it's going to affect the chemistry, the drive, and all of that. That's a very, very, very strong truth, which led me to the point that I had before of sometimes, women are prioritizing certain things that they think are more important when actually the most important thing is the bond between the two of you. That's number one.
So there was one point in the marriage, year 2, I said, I think I need a side chick because you're not giving me what I need sexually, and it's making me feel bad, and da da da. And Kadeen said, DeVal, whatever, do it.
Because at that point, I was just tired of arguing. I was like, that's going to make you feel better in this moment?
And I
Go
said,
ahead, my guy.
Number 2, another thing is compatibility. A lot of people are not thinking about the compatibility between the two of you in an intimate setting. And so when somebody's drive is naturally a certain, height, right? And you are not that kind of person, or it's not that kind of height, it's going to create that imbalance. And so somebody is always going to be annoyed or frustrated, whether it's the person who doesn't want to do it and feels like they're forced to keep up, or whether it's the person who is not getting enough. It's going to create some kind of imbalance.
I agree. And that part I agree with. Yes, that women are typically the ones that will ask for the exclusivity. I get that. Yes. But what I'm saying is, me as a woman, I don't think that I was necessarily prepared or in the mindset to know that. It's almost like once you get into it, then you're like, oh shoot, like this is what I'm going to have to keep up with.
There is sayings, right, where they said that, you know, he should leave the house empty and all this kind of stuff. Like, there are these kind of sayings, but I don't think that people take it serious enough, right? And I hate to say it, but especially in the era that we are in this whole like, oh, you know, I have my own autonomy and I'm my own and this and that and he don't own me, like this kind of like hyper, you know, I'm so independent, and even if I got a man, I want him, I don't need him. It creates this kind of distance between husband and wife, you know, two people in a relationship, where they don't feel like, you know, this person is owed anything from you in a relationship again, but they are required to give you all the things that you desire and that you want and make sure that you're happy, even if they are drowning.
Us speaking as 36-year-old people know that now. Had I known that at 26, I would have to contend with that. Even in the dating realm, then it might have been something I would have reevaluated.
You know, I think it is for the women to have these conversations to other women, to give them the real, you know, depth and gems of what marriage really requires. There's so much preparation for the wedding, the bridesmaids, the dresses, the color schemes, but there's not enough preparation for when everybody else is gone and it's just the two of you. These are the tools that you guys are going to need to survive. And one of those main tools is getting into bed. For real.
Yeah, and I said, yo, I'm not saying this as a threat. I'm telling you what I'm about to do. She said, okay, do what you got to do. Like,
did you really not care at that moment?
I didn't think you were gonna do nothing.
Right.
To be quite honest, I was like, oh, this is like a
test.
That's what she thought.
Now the story goes full circle, and now it all makes sense. Okay. Now, people in the comment sections had their vast opinions. If you guys are unaware of, like I said, of who they are, they have their own podcast. They are known, you know, a very known couple.
If I could get myself a house and some food, clearly that's not what the you need to be doing. You need to be doing what the fuck I want you to do. So if that means buy me this or buy me that or buy me this, that's what the you need to be doing, because that's what the I want. The fuck, I could get myself some damn food. I get myself a damn house. I want stuff. I want stuff. And they all do is complain. Like, what the fuck? Like, what has men come to? Literally. And then it's like, hate women who are independent, but then y'all hate when beg y'all for shit. So what the f do y'all want us to do?
First off, why you consider yourself a bitch? And why are you begging men for stuff if you can provide it for yourself? That's the bigger question. If you can provide certain things for yourself, why would you put yourself in a position to beg another human being for anything? Isn't the point of being able to take care of yourself and to be independent is so you don't have to depend on a man? And you don't need a man for anything? And you certainly wouldn't have to beg him for anything? What's the point of y'all being independent if you still begging a man for stuff? Can't you buy your own stuff? This is stupid. And she looks relatively young. A lot of these young women are delusional. If you can buy your own stuff, why are you begging a man to do it? Doesn't make any sense, y'all. Let's continue.
Confused. Do y'all want to need y'all or not? I hate I hate cheap ass. I hate that shit, bruh. That does not make any sense. I'm gonna do bare minimum. Oh no, what the? And that fat ass and that be sitting in a room thinking he a motherfucking therapist, whoever the his big fat ass is. I'm sick of his too. Sometimes he be saying shit to be like, all right, but sometimes it just be like, shut your big fat nasty ass up. No, you slow ass. You're losing the mother plot. The f we talking about? Who even came up with these rules? Men. Men decided what the a man is supposed to do. We're living in a society now where women can vote, women can work jobs, women can do whatever the fuck they want to do without a man. We don't live back in the day no more. That reality of life is over with. Women literally can do what they want. Women can buy their own groceries. Women can get jobs. Women can get their own homes. Women don't need men for that. So in this time of life, yes, men have to start moving differently because we're not back in the day no more.
Right. So men do have to start moving differently because women are able to take care of themselves and they boast about it. They don't need a man. They say it all the time. I don't need no man. I don't need a man to provide. I don't need a man to live my life. I can live my life perfectly without a man. So yes, she's right. Men have to move differently. That means you don't need to be catering to a grown, independent boss chick who can take care of herself, baby. These are not these damsels in distress who are out here who can't do anything. No, they're perfectly capable of taking care of themselves. So you don't have to do it, especially for somebody that you just meeting, somebody that you don't know, somebody is not your child and not your wife. So that means, yes, men have to move differently. That's why they are. But a lot of women don't like it. Some of these, it's not all, but a lot of the ones that it applies to who are complaining about it, they're complaining because a man is not paying your bills, but y'all say y'all don't need them. How are you going to stress and say you don't need, in one breath, you don't need a man, women could do this and women could do that, and then turn around and say, well, I need y'all to just buy me stuff. No, buy your own shit. Can't you buy your own shit? Why you need a man to buy it? It's an oxymoron. It doesn't go together. It doesn't work. Make it make sense. Let's continue.
You gotta rewrite this. Well, I'm gonna rewrite this. Unless you a nothing ass, unless you are that don't have, then yes, a man providing a house and food for you is enough. But for like me, no.
Well, that's why a bee like you will just be taking care of your damn self, because you don't need a man. You don't need a man. I don't think they're paying attention to what they're saying. This is why I say modern women in 2026 are cooked. Because I don't think they realize what they're saying. You're saying basically,
You gotta be alone.
clearly, I don't need a man. I can take care of myself. But what they don't realize the message that they're sending. You're saying, I don't need a man. I can take care of myself. I got my own job. I got my own car. I got my own business. I got my own house. You got your own everything. And men are saying, oh, okay, well, you don't need me. It's like they're saying, I don't need you, but I want you. And then the men are saying, well, if you don't need me, then I can back away. You don't need me. What's the point? If the man is supposed to be the provider, right? He wants to provide for a wife and a family that needs him, right? He wants to be the breadwinner for his family. He wants, if you have a man who's a provider who wants to do that, he wants to be able to take care of his family. He doesn't want to be with a woman who constantly tells him, I don't need you. That signifies to him, hey, well, you don't need me. I can't trust you. You go up and just leave whenever you feel like it. There's nothing you need me for, so why should I be here? They don't understand how men think and how men operate. You just talking, and then when you see men moving differently, you pissed and mad. Why they ain't buying me stuff? Because you said you don't need them. You don't need them for nothing. Why? So why should they buy you stuff? I don't understand what part they're missing. If you sit down all day and tell a man, I don't need you, I got my own this. So why would they be, what would incline them to want to go out of their way to give you stuff if you already got it? That don't make them want to come to your aid or come to you. No, you got it. You got it. No, you got it. You don't need me. So, all right, I'm gonna move over here. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna go another place. I'm gonna go to somewhere where I'm needed. Because you got to think, if the role of the man is to be a provider, that means provide for a family, not just buy you shit. That means provide. Yes, provide a roof over your head, provide the food and clothes and the necessities that you need, the necessities that his family needs, the things that you're supposed to provide for your family. A man is not supposed to just shell out money just because he can and because he has it, and just buying you clothes and bullshit that don't matter. That's not what a provider is supposed to do. A provider is just supposed to buy you stuff. Just buy me stuff, buy like a child? No. He's supposed to provide for his family. Provide the things that his family needs to thrive and grow. Not just buying you stuff just because you want whatever you want. That sounds immature. That sounds like somebody who's gonna be broke. If you're following a woman and just buying her stuff just every time whatever she tells you and just because she want it, you gonna be broke soon. And she gonna be on to the next. That sounds like an immature mindset. And somebody who doesn't know what life is about and what a provider is supposed to be doing. A provider is not somebody who just buy you stuff. That's so damn stupid. Sounds like a child. You don't understand what a provider looks like and what he's supposed to be providing. You talking about a roof over your head? Yes, that's what he's supposed to provide. A lot of people are struggling to pay the roof for the roof that's over their head. So yeah, as a man who provides for his family, he provides a shelter over his family's head, provide for his children, provides for his wife, takes care of them, makes sure they have all the necessities that they need to thrive and survive. You're talking about just buy you stuff? That sounds like a fool. That don't make no sense. But anyway, I think that's what we see out here. A lot of young women are just looking for somebody to just give them this, to just buy stuff.
Supremacy on TikTok. I agree with part of it. I reject part of it. And the other part, nobody wants to touch. And that's the part that should bother you the most. Stay with me.
no filters.
So, hey, boo, I just had a thought. One of the reasons white people hate black people is because we cannot tolerate black joy. We cannot tolerate black intelligence. We cannot tolerate black beauty. We cannot tolerate black confidence. We cannot tolerate black camaraderie. We cannot tolerate anything that frees a black person.
She cooking that chicken hard. That's what she's doing. Oh man, the honesty is just, wow. I got no complaints so far. Please, white lady, continue.
There's a level of racism that I think hits differently for black people than it does for Asian people or Hispanic people or Middle Eastern people or Native Americans even. Each one of those things that people think regarding other races are different with black people, I think.
Yeah.
Because again, we don't like black people to be educated. We don't like them to be successful. We don't want black judges. We don't want anything for black people that doesn't directly affect and entertain us.
She's got to have 1 million subscribers by now. Because what she's saying right now, she's putting it down. She's making it very clear. Yeah, they don't want us to be lawyers or doctors or judges, but entertainers, musicians, comedians. Oh yeah, okay, we could do that all day. No problem with that. But any position of authority that could put us in a position where we could exercise any type of power, not just over them, but over ourselves, they don't like it.
So we can have a black nanny. We can have a black house cleaner. We can have a black teacher.
Yeah.
We can have a black coach. We can have black players. But only for the specific things that we feel comfortable with. I think about all those sweet children that have been killed, murdered, when they go out with their white friends. And I think that as much as the trauma of slavery comes down through the DNA, I think also the cruelty of slavery, the desire to hurt, the desire to steal and kill and humiliate and torment and disappear black people.
Hold on. I don't know if I agree with that part. Is she saying that racism is inherited? She's saying that it's built into your DNA. No wonder why people are cutting off the video early. They don't want to tangle with this. I don't agree with that at all, fam. I think that racism is a taught. It's a thing you learn. Babies aren't racist. What she's doing is very dangerous here, man, because she's saying basically that any racists that exist, they just are. Like, she's basically saying it's not a choice. That it's embedded in you, it's nothing you can do about it. So you're either born with it or you're not born with it. And I don't think that's true. I don't want to let racists off the hook. Not to mention, it's the same old pseudoscience type nonsense that they used to use on us. Say we were incapable, but in our DNA was an issue. And they use that to justify enslaving us. justify treating us subhuman. And I'm not going to go along with that just because somebody's saying it on the other side. Like, you know, just because they're pointing the finger at another group of people doesn't mean I'm going to co-sign that. Now, I'm going to reject that. I'm going to say that there are people that have these beliefs and they are taught and they learn them and they become second nature. But that does not mean that they didn't learn them at some point. Because what she's saying is that if it's in your DNA, you got no choice, you got it. It's like having, you know, being left-handed. It's just what you are. And there's nothing you can do about it. And that lets everybody who treats black people horribly, who's horribly racist against black Americans, that lets them all off the hook, fam, because what could they do? Stop being left-handed? Stop being attracted to women? Stop having brown eyes or blue eyes? Nah. No. See, this is not the answer. It's not about being nice. I want to be clear. This is not about me being nice to racists. This is about not adopting their frame just because in this one incident, you find comfort in it somehow. Nah, because it's race science is bullshit. Race science is garbage. You shouldn't accept it no matter who's saying it and no matter who they're pointing at when they're saying it. You understand what I'm saying? Because the same fingers that pointed at other people will turn and pointed at us. You're not doing us a favor. You're not doing us a favor. Accepting this, thinking it makes black people feel better, or just because some black people are gonna like it. Those black people that like this comment don't realize the ramifications of accepting race science as fact.
Is what comes down through the DNA. I think when you do something like that for long enough and you pass it down for the many years that slavery and enslaved people were in chains, that is an instinct with us, cruelty. And I think you can see it in many videos. All the white women and white men that are telling black kids and black families to get the hell out of here, you don't belong. We just don't want you to have more than us, honey.
She is staying on this talking point, and I gotta keep rejecting it, fam. Now, we do not accept eugenics, no matter what the rapper is that they put on the outside of it. And no matter whose ego it makes better. Even if, yeah, there are cruel people, that's true. They learn that cruelty somewhere. And they may have been practicing it so long, the way that they see black people, their racism, they may be a part of them to a certain extent, but they weren't always that way. What it was is their environment was always that way. They weren't. They're conditioned by the environment. And then they were taught to stay within the lines of that environment. But people nowadays, those people are choosing that based on family, based on associations. Now, this is dangerous, fam.
We just don't want you to be prettier. We don't want you to be the beauty standard. Okay. We don't want you to be judges or anything like that. We want you to be below us, beneath us.
There you go.
And
yeah. Now you cooking. Don't mess it up for me. Stay there. In fact, you could end the video, lady. Just end the video. Stop talking now. Because you're on point. That could be greed. That could be somebody feeling insecure. That could be greed. That could just be self-hate or whatever. But keep it there. Makes life easier on both of us.
We've tried so hard to keep you down, and we failed so badly. Because like Maya Angelou said, still you rise. We may hate you, we may beat you, we may do those things, and it makes us crazy that you keep coming back and getting better. We can't stand it. I don't know why that is. I think I heard somebody say that white people are the ones that have the ancestors that were closely related to the apes. And I believe that. We are so similar to Cro-Magnon man, Neanderthals. We're pale monkey.
No. Can't fall for that. Don't fall for that. This is the same stuff they use against us. It doesn't, it's that though. When they use it against us, it's horrific, it's a lie, it's BS. We can't then be like, well, use it on them because it fits them. Nah, it doesn't fit human beings. People can be just bad people. People can be just self-serving, self-conscious, jealous jackasses. They could be greedy, self-conscious asshole. They could be that without being Cro-Magnon, a Neanderthal descendant, smaller brains, smaller skull, not any of that eugenics. No, man. No. Nah, don't. Look, if I rejected it 30 seconds ago, I'm going to reject it again now. Because this is not it.
I really hate being white sometimes. I'm super ashamed. I think things like,
family, she's a self-hating white person. She hates herself so much that she destroys any additives, any pluses that were made in a video because she is out there. She out there, she undermines her credibility by hating herself this much. Nobody white is gonna listen to her at this point who isn't the same, which is a self-hating white person. And only people gonna listen are black people, and that's not gonna help. Now it feels like she only did it for views. Cause what white person that doesn't hate themselves is gonna accept the frame that they are Cro-Magnon inferior and they should hate themselves? Man, my comment section gonna be lit, ain't it?
Sorry, I don't get good sleep right now. I think when I see a young black kid with a bunch of white kids, or like I try to watch for things that are happening, and I was thinking to myself, you know, if I saw a black kid hopping in a vehicle with a bunch of white kids, what would I do? I mean, you know, I could do anything. I could get the black kid to come over and say, hey, I think I know your mother, come here. And then to say, you better get away from all them white boys. But I had a brown friend of mine tell me that was silly and that it is savior-ish. Ooh, and I don't like that. White savior.
Yeah.